From number 2, P2 on the grid for Micromax is Kuryu Kiyotake. And number 3 is Ashton Yong Shun Wei. As for the Minimax class, we have on pole position for now, Kamalfu Anchatko for the pre-final, followed by position 2 of Simba Motoda, Pumsit Komajong, Febren Gibran Raditya, Pirapongan Sutumno Itsuki Hayashi, followed by position 7 Brian Lee, 8 Min Jae Kim, Dominic Tiawan, Zephan Ardashir for your and Sahil Singh for your Minimax grid.
Oh, sirap. Untuk caramel je lah.
Iya, caramel and chocolate.
Oh,
Ada caramel mocha frappuccino.
bagi saya satu mocha blend.
Sekejap Mocha blend.
17.
17 bagus.
Senior Max and then DD2 Max Masters to wrap up the day. And so you're looking at our grid for the pre-final of the Mini and Micromax. Minis starting at the front and Micromax will be the last 3 entries. Kamalfu starting first, Simba Motoda second position, Pumsit third, Febren Gibran fourth, Pirapan Sutumno fifth, and Itsuki Hayashi in the 6th position. This is your first 3 rows of the Minimax series. Brian Lee, Fireball Motorsports at 7th position, Min Jae Kim, Dominic Tiawan, Zephan Ardashir, and Sahil Singh completes your Minimax grid until position 11. And from P12 onwards is our Micromax class with Iman Zikri leading the way, followed by our next competitors Kuryu Kiyotake as well as Ashton Yong. 14 karts will be racing in this session for a grand total of 14 laps. For now, the track is still closed and we will be live shortly. We will be releasing the racers onto the track for their formation onto the pre-final session starting soon. We will go live in 2 minutes as the cards will fire up soon. 1 minute to go. All right, and off they go onto the track. Track is now live. This will be our first race of the day. Mini and Micromax pre-finals starting soon as the racers go to the grid to begin their race. Stay tuned, and we are going racing very, very soon. I can't wait. And we are live for the Minimax and Micromax. Yellow flag is thrown, yellow flag is thrown. Those of you joining us online and at the track, it is yellow flag. Yellow flag has been thrown. We will be going for another start. We will be going for another start as the racers will be lining up into the tram line, going for one more lap before we start the race. All right, the racers are piling up, going into the tram lines as they get ready for the race start. This is your Minimax and Micromax pre-finals. As our racers go into formation once again, approaching turn 10, the penultimate corner, into the final corner as they prepare to start the race. All right, tram lines are looking good. Off we go into the first turn as now we have our participant Simba Motoda taking the lead briefly into the turn 1 and 2 complex, into now turn 3, and now we move on to the back straight on approaching turn 4. In the lead now is 125. 125.
All right, here we go. So this is the opening lap for the Minimax and Micromax pre-final. We can see, I think, our poleman Kamapo is in the lead with Shimba Motoda right behind him.
And in third position, Pumsit Kombajong with Pirapongan Sutumno dropping 1 position and Fabian Gibran going up 1 position.
All right, let's take a look at where our leaders are. So I think Simba has taken over the lead, so he's the one in the green and white card. So he's in the lead now ahead of Kamapu.
That's right, going into the back of the circuit, into turn 7, into turn 8, the long sweeping left corner. They push and power on into turn 9, where there's a big braking zone, where there's an attack going on by Simba on Kamolfu, or rather Kamolfu defending from Simba as he retains the lead. Now Kamolfu takes back the lead on lap 2, going into the final bend onto the main straight as well. Into turn 1, bumper to bumper between Simba and Kamolfu, with Pumsit sitting just right behind, ready to pounce at a moment's notice.
So here we go, we have 12 laps to go in the pre-final for Minimax and Micromax. It is a close battle in the front for the lead for the Minimax. So we have 5 drivers that are already broken away. We have Simba, we have Kamapu, Pumsit, Pirapongpan and Febran all together in the front for battling for the race lead here in the pre-final.
Right, and Ling, actually the fastest driver on the track right now was Pumsit, but now taken over by Simba, which has just jumped into the lead of the race.
Yep, so we can see the top 5 all lapping in the 54s. So they are they're pulling away in the front, and we have still a long way to go, Kelvin. So we may have a big battle on our hands. Simba, as you can see, still hanging on, but Kamapo right there, ready to pounce at any moment.
A little bit of a touch on the back bumper of Simba's kart by Kamolfu. I think there was just a minor touch as they, definitely not a big tap, but a minor touch as he wiggles through the midsection of this track, coming on to the penultimate corner and heading into the final corner and on the main straight as the coaches desperately try to coach them, bend down, slipstream their opponents into turn 1 and turn 2 complex and pushing on into turn 3. 5 of them really side by side together.
Yeah, so as we know, this is a long pre-final, so let's see what will Kamapu's strategy be, because looking at the lap time, he managed to clock the fastest lap in the previous lap, 54.294, so he's slightly quicker than Simba, but Simba taking very defensive line so far, still hanging on to the race lead.
Yep. As they enter the back of the track into the long sweeping right turn before the big braking zone, that is turn 9, always an attacking area for karts like these. They go into the penultimate corner and the final corner as they power down the main straight once again. But this time, Kamolfu is just that much closer to Simba. I think he will try to attempt an attack into turn 1. Or is he not? Actually, he takes the wider line and plans the attack for the coming turns.
Yeah, because he does have to be careful when he wants to make an attack on Simba, because Pumsit is right there to take advantage of any mistakes from our leaders as well. We can see Pumsit, cart number 164 in the blue cart, we can see right behind our top 2. So the gap now, pretty much nothing separating our top 3. So Febran and Pirapongpan has fallen behind.
He goes for it. Kamolfu has taken the lead from Simba. He went for it in the middle of turn 8, taking the lead now onto the penultimate corner, and he is now in the lead, actually coming down to finish the lap 5, the 5th lap of this race. But it is not done as Simba right behind him, still in attack position, still just bumper to bumper right behind him, touching his rear bumper almost, and powering down into turn 3.
Yep, so Kamapu back in the lead, but for how long, Calvin? As Simba still continues to put the pressure, so is Pumsit. So I think we have to pay attention to Pumsit, who is in 3rd, because he was lapping quicker than both Kamapu and Simba in the previous lap.
All right, so just calling out the current standings at the moment, we have Kamolfu in P1, Simba P2, Pumsit in P3, Febran Gibran in P4, Pirapongan in P5, Brian Lee position 6, Zefan Ardashir followed by Min Jae Kim, Dominic Setiawan, Itsuki Hayashi and Sahil Singh.
Yep, and for the micro, so we have 3 drivers on the grid for the micro. Currently leading the way is Imran Zikri, followed by Kuryu Kyotake and Ashton Yong.
Yep. So that's the grid at the moment. What you're seeing on screen is actually what we are looking at as well. But on the track, the action is hot and close together as we now focus back on the leaders. 125 Kamofu in the lead, taking first position from Simba just 2 laps ago.
Yep, so Kamapo back in the lead, but let's see if he can manage to pick up his pace slightly and hopefully try to clear the gap from both Simba and Pumsit.
Yep, that's right. Going into turn 8, a pretty hard turn here to make, slightly just a little bit off camber, and they go into turn 9, big braking zone as they head into turn 10 now, and into 11 for the straight once again. I think you will see the racers all bending down and trying to catch a little bit of slipstream to get just that bit more of speed.
Yeah, so we can see Kamapu picking up the pace now. His previous lap is his fastest lap of the pre-final, 54.192. So we are more than halfway through the race. We have 6 more laps to go, and we see that Kamapu is definitely trying to do what he can to pull away. So this is, I think on screen now, this is another group
This is
battling.
our mid-pack battle, the mid-pack battle.
I think that's
Zephan.
Brian Lee,
Yep.
Zephan Ardisha, and Min Jae Kim.
Yeah, so this is the second pack right behind the first 5. We have a slight gap between Perapongan and Brian Lee. The gap is now 5.4 seconds, but behind Brian Lee, there is a crowd of 4 cars actually, all separated within 2 seconds.
Yeah, so they're about 5.5 seconds behind our race leader, but it is a heated battle for P6.
All right, as we look at once again, look at 124 onwards, this is our mid-pack battle of Min Jae Kim, Dominic Setiawan, and Itsuki Hayashi.
Yep, so Calvin, a lot of these entries are new to Rotex this season. So it looks like Sepang being a new track for them. It is a very heated battle we have between our international entries.
Definitely, I agree completely. So what I'm hearing from race control is that our leaders will be soon coming to lap our Micromax classes soon. So you will probably see them on the camera in some time. But just to remind you, this is a joint pre-final. We have our Minimax as well as our Micromax together in this section of 14 laps of racing. 5 more to go. This is lap 10. This is 4 more to go. This is now the 10th lap in the race.
Yep, so far all 14 karters still on track. Here we can see, I think this is the mid-pack battle, but there is a blue flag being waved.
Yes, for sure. So our
race leaders are just passing, I think they passed Itsuki Hayashi in P10. So here, this is our top 3 now. We're following on camera. Kamapu still holding on to this. Simba coming alongside him.
Side by side, taking the wider line, but Kamalfu just cut back into the racing.
Pumsit has just moved ahead of Simba. Let's try to see if we can catch them in the next turn. Yes, Pumsit found a way through Simba and has now moved up to 2nd. So here we go. The battle is still on between our top 3 for the victory here in the pre-final. 3 more laps to go.
3 more laps, and Simba is looking as solid in P3 as Pumsit is now on the attack, going on to attack Kamalfu for P1. This looks very interesting indeed. We are looking at a close battle at the front, but Pumsit feeling secure, just driving his normal line still, but just dropping back slightly is Pumsit.
Yeah, so Pumsit has been trailing both Kamapu and Simba for pretty much the entire race. So I think with a couple laps to go, he has decided to go on the attack now. He's ready to go, and let's see if he tries to make a move on Kamapu.
Into turn 9, big braking zone where you can pass. Kamalfu holds the line into turn 10, now going on to turn 11, onto the final straight. We saw just now Pumsit ducking down behind his fairings, trying to get that bit more speed, and he's doing that again. Again, he's close to the back. I feel he just has a little bit more straight line speed compared to Kamalfu, but Kamalfu holding well in the bends.
Yep, and we can see that he's driving very confidently now, Pumsit. He knows, as Calvin mentioned, he has the pace. It's just when and where will he try to make the move on Kamapo, but he also has to be careful of Simba right behind him as well.
Yeah, Simba just don't forget me. He's saying, don't forget me. I'm still behind here. I'm not done with y'all. I am, in fact, on the back of Pumsit right now, going on the attack. 3 of them side by side together, but this has allowed Fabian Gibran to join the fight at P4 as a little bit of a gap opened up between him and also Pirapongan.
Yep, so we can see that Fabian just shadowing our top 3. Kamapo still lapping in the 54.2. So is Pumsit. So we're coming down to the final 2. We're on the last lap now. So let's see what will happen to our top 3.
Yep. And behind our battle for first position, Min Jae Kim has taken a position from Zefan Ardashir, P8 up to P7 now as we enter the last lap of the race.
Yep, so this is our top 3 battle for the Mini-Max. For the Micro-Max, it's still Iman Zikri in the lead, followed by Kuryu Kyotake and Ashton Yong.
That's right. So, again, once again, ladies and gentlemen, to those of you joining us on track and online, this is a 2-class race with the Mini-Max at the front and the Micro-Max following behind. So, as we enter the final turn, it is now Kamofu Anchatko from Thailand who takes the pre-finals, followed by Pumsit and Simba Motoda.
Yep, that was an exciting battle for the pre-final, and Calvin, I think we have a lot to look forward in the final race later this afternoon.
Yep. Yes, indeed. This is a great session so far. I am definitely looking out for more close racing. Close but respectful racing, I must say.
Yeah, so I think that all 4, we're going to wait for the Micro-Max drivers to take the checker flag, because I think all 11 Mini-Max drivers have already crossed the starting line.
And indeed, we have Iman Zikri taking the Micro-Max P1, followed by Kuryu Kyotake and Ashton Yong.
Yep, so a good start, a good warm-up for the drivers before they return later this afternoon after lunch for their final race.
Definitely. So a dominating race indeed from Iman Zikri as he absolutely blitzed the entire Micro-Max grid, lapping on almost the same pace as a Mini-Max.
Yeah, so very consistent performance there. So here is your provisional results. For the Mini-Max, it was Kamapo taking first position, followed by Pumsit, Simba Motoda in 3rd, Fabian 4th, Perapongpan 5th, Brian Lee 6th, Min Jae Kim 7th, Dominic Setiawan 8th, Zefan Adisha 9, Itsu Hayashi 10.
That's right, followed by Sahil Singh. And then we have our Micro-Max class as well, dominated completely by Iman Zikri, followed by Kuryu Kyotake and Ashton Yongshun Wei.
All right, so that wraps it for the pre-final of the Mini and Micro-Max. I think coming up next is the pre-final for the Junior Max. It will be a 16-lap race. And we'll stay tuned for that because that is another heated category with 10 drivers on the grid.
Yep, that's right. So coming up next, Junior Max pre-finals. This will be a 16-lap race as our racers get ready and prepare to go to the staging area. We will be looking at our races soon. So how you separate the Junior Maxes is all their cards starts with the number 2 in the 200s. And we're looking at the card number 213 of Katrina E, which is currently our pole position sitter for the Junior Max category in yesterday's qualifying heat, from yesterday's qualifying heat. And today for the pre-finals, she will be at pole position and she will lead the pack out onto the track when we hit the formation lap in a bit.
Yep, so we have a good lineup here this weekend for round 3 of the Rotex Max Challenge Asia Trophy here at Sepang Go-Kart. As Calvin mentioned, Katrina E will be starting once again from pole position, followed by Conrad Garrow.
Yep. So that's right. Looking forward to some great racing. Yesterday we see the Junior Max with some fantastic side-by-side racing between Katrina, Conrad and Adeputra and RT Ratchakalisinton. And today I am looking forward to see the same. As we are looking at the man from Viper Niza Racing, I am really looking forward to them. That is Adeputra Hendra that you're looking at from Viper Niza Racing. He will be starting the race behind Katrina E in the 3rd position. So as our racers get ready and positioned in the staging area, Hui Ling will be heading over there and she will join us shortly as we try to get the drivers as they are strapped into their carts and ready to go. One of the best feelings ever always is when you fire up that cart for the first time, knowing that you're just going to have a great time out on the track, as well as, you know, racing with fellow competitors that are, you know, so far in this series, Rotax Max Challenge Asia Trophy, very respectable racing and close, but no cigar. So looking forward indeed to see what we bring to the track as we look at the grid. Katrina E, followed by Conrad, followed by Adeputra, RT Ratchakalisinton, Zarif Raikal, Mohammad Anaki, Siri Kong Siri, Paul Becker, Jane Lee, and Ethan Seto.
Kita start dari depan. I think kita ambil 1, 2, 3, 3 dulu. 2, 3.
Bila you nak interview, you scroll down eh? Okay, anytime.
All right, so here we are at the waiting area for the Junior Max. So as Calvin mentioned, we have 10 drivers who will be heading out for the pre-final. It'll be a 16 laps race. So we're gonna, since we have a couple minutes, we're gonna try to have a quick chat with some of the top drivers. So starting from P1, we have Katrina E. So Katrina, how has the weekend been so far for the 3rd round here at Sepang?
Yesterday the heat, I got pole position and I led all the way from the start of the race to the finish. I'm looking forward to the pre-final now.
All right, so are you feeling very confident with how your kart performed yesterday? And looking at the weather conditions, it's pretty similar to what we had yesterday during qualifying and qualifying heat as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident for the race right now, and hopefully I can get a big lead for the race again.
All right, thank you. Good luck. So that is our Malaysian driver, Katrina. Starting alongside her will be Conrad Garrow. So Conrad, starting on the front row, how are you feeling about the pre-final?
I think it's good. We made up some good spots in the heat, and hopefully we can keep doing that in the pre-final and final.
So we have a total of 10 drivers. Are you looking forward to a more competitive race today, or are you going to try to do your best to pull away in the front?
I think we'll see how it goes, but it should be a fun race.
All right, thank you and good luck. And starting on the front of the second row, we have Hendra Putra. So how are you looking forward to your race here in Sepang today?
Oh no.
No comments?
Yeah.
All right, so that was a quick and simple one from our drivers. I think we have about 3 minutes to go. So we are going to stand by as they head out on track for the pre-finals.
All right. Thank you so much, Hui Ling from On The Scene. That is the staging area where our drivers are being prepared to go out on track. We have some fantastic racing that I'm expecting to happen sometime soon. Cannot wait for that to happen. All right, almost time to go as we have 16 laps of racing to go. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. We will be going out on track. This is the pre-final. Junior Max will be led by Katrina E out on track. So we have 10 cards out this round, led by Katrina E of DRM Racing, followed by Conrad Garreau of Fireball, and Hendra Putra, Viper Niza Racing on P3 with the black and green card. This will be going live soon. 16 laps of great racing to come. We will be looking forward to this race as we go on into the pre-final Junior Max 125cc two-stroke. Racers form up into the track as we approach turn 9. 2 more turns to go before they power down the main straight and start the pre-final for Junior Max. So we're looking at number 213, Katrina E, currently in pole position, followed by Conrad Garreau, 209 in P2. Formation looks good as we fall into the tram lines and we get ready to go for the Junior Max pre-final. They round the bend, they put the power down, they cross the line, and it is green, green, green. But we immediately have a yellow flag calling yellow flag. As we pause the race, we will go for restart number 1. Going back into the tram lines, we will reset for a second race start for the Junior Max pre-finals. We need to have all the racers in the line before we proceed to start. All racers have to be together. Rolling start down the main straight in 2 tram lines. We have a great yellow flag.
Yep, so I think this is get a second attempt at the start. So for all these karters, I know usually race control also try to advise them. I heard race control actually reminding them before they hit on track, you know, to stay in formation, to slow down. But let's see if we can get a green flag here in the second go. So we can see on the front right, you have Katrina E, card number 213, alongside her Conrad Garreau. So both of them, Calvin, they will be having to set the pace.
All right, formation is good and off we go.
So strong
one more time,
start there.
One more time. We have another yellow flag. Yep.
All right, so I think this is going to be their 3rd attempt now.
Yep. And like what you said just now, actually, the race control has indeed reminded them to stick within the lines and make sure that all of the cards are in the straight line before
Yeah,
they
because I
fall
remember last season this was a slight issue as well. So they tried to remember before the drivers head out, but hopefully, let's see. We see Katrina lining up alongside Conrad. So the back drivers, all right.
No problems there.
Here we go. So far, looking good.
Looking good into turn 9. 2 more turns to go before we see them down the straight line once again to start the Junior Max pre-finals as they creep, literally creeping around turn 10 to go into 11 for the final bend before they did all power down the main straight. I think some of them a little bit exuberant, a little bit excited, a little bit eager to get going. So
yeah, so we can see our leaders, 2 of them really trying to get everyone in line, ready to go. And will we have a green flag as they head down the start straight?
All right, here we go. We are racing into turn 1. Katrina is still in the lead.
And we can see Hendra Putra pushing Conrad Garreau out a little there in turn 2.
He's now already in P2 as we have a little bit of an incident happen behind the track. But now still in the lead, it is Katrina E, followed by Hendra and Conrad in P3.
Yep, so good start there from Katrina. She's zipped off in the lead. We have Hendra in 2nd, Conrad in 3rd. I think we have Arti in 4th.
All right, now into turn 9 and turn 10, still lap 1, Katrina E firmly in the lead, dictating the pace, leading them out of the first racing lap that we have here for the Junior Max pre-final. But closely behind him, Conrad, he's attacking into turn 1 and 2 complex. He's now side by side with Adiputra, and they are fighting into turn 3.
Looks like he's trying to do exactly what Hendra did to him in the opening lap, but unfortunately unsuccessful. Hendra holds on to P2. Conrad is still on the attack. Muhammad Anaki has moved up to P4 and RT drops down to P5.
Yep. Paul Becker is the one on the move as well as he slots into P6, followed by Zarif Raikal, Siri Kong Siri. Current lap time leader is definitely our race leader, Katrina E.
Yeah, I think the battle between Hendra and Conrad has allowed Katrina to pull away in the front. So we can see a sizable gap opening now, and we're only on lap 2.
Side by side and slipstreaming onto the main straight. We have a position battle for P2, and it is Conrad into turn 2, takes the position from Adiputra, but Anaki sitting just right behind, ready to pounce.
Yep, so the same move, and this time he makes it stick. Conrad gains 1 position back from Adiputra, but behind them, Calvin, is a train of drivers all piling up behind them now.
I mean, this is not Formula 1, else we would call this a DRS train, right? But what this allowed is Katrina to scamper off freely without being attacked into the lead, firmly in control of the lap time, 51.26.
Yeah, she's lapping more than half a second quicker than the rest of the grid. So our eyes now are on the battle for P2. In the front, you have Conrad Garrow holding on from Adiputra Hendra, Anaki behind them, Arti, Zarif Raika, Paul Becker, all there, ready to join the battle.
And there's a spin, there's actually a spin, that is Conrad Garrow. Conrad Garrow has spun out. There is a spin out, and he has now resumed his race, but Conrad has unfortunately dropped down the order. But for us, perhaps...
I think Adiputra Hendra has also dropped a couple positions there. So we have changes in the back, while Katrina still continues to pull away almost 1.5 seconds in a very comfortable lead now ahead of the rest of the competition here in the Junior Max
I feel there was contact there. I feel there was a bit of a contact there on the track, but now the positions have definitely changed with Adiputra dropping back, Anaki and RT coming up forward, and just 2.3 seconds behind Katrina.
Yeah, Zarif Raika has also moved up to 4th position, so Adiputra Hendra from that little incident. Conrad, I think, is still out on track, but all the way down in 8th position. In 10th position, 8 seconds behind our race leader.
Correct. So we have had position movements of Anaki and RT and Zarif all moving up forward. The DRM card of Zarif Raikal has also moved forward in currently P4.
And the gap continues to grow between Katrina and Anaki in second, now up to 2.3 seconds. Katrina, although she is in a comfortable lead, she's continued to pick up the pace. She's now lapping in the 50s, so 50.763 on her last lap.
That's right. All right, we're looking at Zarif as he takes a wider line into the turn 1 and 2 complex, trying to attack Anaki, trying to position himself for an attack, but he is just only less than 0.1 seconds behind. As we see clearly, he has now taken the position from Anaki into P2.
Yep, so Zarif Raika on the move now. He's moved up so far. I think we saw him starting from... Zarif Raika starting from 5th position, so now he's moved up 3 positions to P2. But the battle is still very close in P2. Adiputra Hendra also trying to make a comeback now. He's on the back of Anaki in 3rd.
Yeah, but just don't forget, and look at the card behind. Zarif has dropped down a little bit, but now Adiputra has taken the position over him. But unfortunately for Zarif, a little bit of a mistake mid-track, and he's dropped down to P4. P5, but good news for Adiputra as he moves up and continues his attack. I think he has just taken the position back from Anaki.
So a side-by-side battle now between Adiputra, Anaki, and also I think that's Zarif Raikal.
Yeah, that's Zarif. Zarif's cart is twitching a little bit just now mid-turn, possibly to have a little bit of an issue, not sure what, but he was definitely twitching a little bit mid-turn, but he took really good opportunity to jump 2 drivers in 1 turn.
Yeah, and not forgetting RT, who has managed to take advantage of all these changes in position to move up to P2. So RT has already pulled, within the lap, he's already pulled away from Zarif, Adiputra, and Anaki.
Correct, right. Like what you said, Hui Ling, that's a free 1.3 second gap in 1 lap because they're busy fighting among each other, right?
Yeah, and right behind this battle for 3rd position, we also have a battle for P6 between, we can see Jane Lee, Ethan Seto, and Paul Becker, all less than half a second between each other. So I think this is the battle here.
6, 7, 8, and 9, all split between less than half a second from Jane Lee, Ethan, Paul, and Siri Kong Siri.
Yeah, so a few battles happening on track while we're not forgetting our race leader, Katrina E, still pulling away in the front, still lapping in the 50s, now almost 4 seconds ahead of RT in second.
A little bit of a contact just now between Paul and Jane, allowing Siri to really close up the gap, go side by side onto the track, into turn 3, side by side, and I believe Siri has almost taken a position, but Paul has held on to it, held on to position 8 for now.
Yeah, and a reminder, this is only our pre-final. We will see all the drivers back later this afternoon for the final race, which now looking at the battle, Kelvin, we're going to expect a very more heated battle in the final. So more than halfway through the pre-final, Katrina E, our pole sitter, still in the race lead, followed by RT in second, Zarif Raikal in third, Adiputra in fourth, Muhammad Anaki in fifth, Ethan in 6, Jane in 7, Paul Becker drops to 8, and Siri Kong Siri in 9. So I think Conrad Guerrero has already retired from the race.
Yes, I believe so too. He is no longer tracking on the lap tracking system, and now we are looking at P9 and P8, which is Paul Becker and Siri Kong Siri from Thailand. As we go into turn 5 and 6 now, 6 and 7 now on the track. This is Rotax Max Challenge Asia Trophy at the Sepang International Karting Circuit. Looking at the back of 232 Siri Kong Siri as he tries to push on to catch up to Paul Becker.
Yep, so that is the battle for P8 between Paul Becker and Siri Kong Siri. We see in the front, I think so far everyone has settled down. This is Adiputra Hendra being still pressured by Anaki. For P4, Zarif Raikal has closed up to RT, so the 1.3 second gap.
Actually was about to go there. He's probably the only one on the move right now. The rest have been settling down pretty nicely, but Zarif is definitely on the up and going. He's trying to catch up to RT Ratchakalisinton.
Yep, he's definitely pulled away from both Adiputra and Anaki. So this is the battle for P2. RT versus Zarif Raikal. 6 laps to go.
Yep. But actually, you know what? I feel really bad for Katrina, leading the race so comfortably that she's barely on screen.
Yeah, she's definitely very confident racing here in Sepang. I think from her performance yesterday, now almost 4.6 seconds ahead of RT in second. So Katrina E in a very comfortable lead from the start.
Yep. That's fantastic racing. But on track, really, the closest battle on track right now is positions 2 and 3 between RT Ratchakalisinton and Zarif Raikal. They are split no more than 0.157 seconds, literally bumper to bumper.
Yeah, a reminder, Zarif started from 5th and he actually moved up to 2nd, but lost the position to RT. So let's see if he can regain a position here. He's definitely on the move, side by side there. Will he try to make an attack going into turn 1?
Fantastic slipstream. He's going to go for it into turn 1, into turn 2 complex. Taking the inside line is Zarif Raikal into position 2 and taking the position, locking out in turn 3, blocking off RT Ratchakalisinton, securing for himself position 2 as the Paralympic kart driver now goes into second position. That is 250 Zarif Raikal.
So very clean move there from Zarif to regain P2. And in the back, we can also see the battle for P4 between Adiputra and Anakis.
If I'm not wrong as well, if you look at the card of Artika Ratchakalisinton, there's a bit of a dent on the bumper itself. If you look at the front, so I believe after the race there will be some penalties for that, possibly from a contact earlier in the race itself.
Yeah, because I think they'll definitely look into the incident between Conrad and Adeputra early in the race.
And
But RT is still running there in third position, right behind Zarif. So he's dropped back a little. Now Zarif has opened up almost a half a second lead.
Definitely still has the pace, but undoubtedly, possibly that the little bit of damage at the front of the fairing might have affected his card a little bit somehow.
Yep, so we have 3 more laps to go in the pre-final for the Junior Max. As mentioned, Katrina E running away with the race here, 5.1 seconds ahead of the rest of her competition. Zarif Raikal in second, RT in third. Adiputra Hendra, who was very strong in the beginning, he's currently in fourth, and Anaki in fifth. So that is your top 5.
And you know what? While she's in the lead, still the most fastest woman on track is Katrina E.
Yep, and in the back we have Ethan in 6, Jane sitting in 7, Paul Becker still holding on to P8 from Siri Kong Siri.
Yep, so now we're still looking at the closest battle on track, which is between Zarif Raikal and RT Ratchakalisenton for P2 and P3 on track, but sitting just 1.7 seconds behind is Ade Putra, 224, the Viper Niza Racing Man.
Yeah, I would say, Calvin, as you mentioned, probably the technical issue with RT's card has affected him because he has not been able to respond after he got passed by Zarif.
The gap is just slowly but surely growing a little bit by a little bit. But you know what? Impressive pace still by RT because Adiputra has not been able to close up the gap. It is still 1.8 seconds. Actually, in fact, it has grown a little bit because on the last lap, it was 1.6 actually.
Yep, so I would say that our top 5 has pretty much settled in their position. We're finally taking a look at our race leader, card number 213, Katrina E. 5.5 second lead.
Yeah, that's right. As she rounds the bend at turn 10, the penultimate corner, into 11 and powering down the straight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your pre-final Junior Max winner, Katrina E.
Very comfortable victory there for her. Before the final race, Zarif Raikal comes across to take P2, followed by RT in third. Adiputra Hendra takes P4. Anaki in fifth. Ethan takes 6th position. Jamie in 7th. And Paul holds on to P8 from Siri Kong Siri in P9. So unfortunately, we lost Conrad Garrow halfway through the race.
Well, losing him, or maybe he will come back during the finals. We'll see.
Yeah, because he actually had a strong pace, but unfortunately, probably a little incident between Adiputra Hendra. We're going to see if there are any penalties coming up towards the final. But we see all karters now just rolling back into the
pit
pedal.
lane. Yep, and that's incredible pace from our race winner, Katrina E. of DRM Racing Team.
Yep, 5.7 seconds, the final gap between her and Zarif Raikal for P1 and P2. So coming up next, we have the pre-final for the senior
Max.
Oh, we'll go straight to the pre-final for the DD2 Max Masters. So for the senior Max category, they will be only competing in the final race later this afternoon at 1:25.
Because we've done the pre-finals yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have the DD2 Max Master 125cc 2-stroke direct drive gearbox 2 speeds. And we will be joined by them soon at the staging area where Ling, once again, will be going there to conduct our pre-race interviews.
I think I'll have better luck in the DD2 Max Masters because they usually talk a little more than the younger drivers. So we're going to head over and catch up with them before they start their pre-final.
Correct. All right, all right. So before that, just let me announce once again, thank you, Hui Ling, for doing that. She will be down at the staging area for the pre-race interviews. But for the DD2 Max Master pre-finals of 17 laps, the fastest racing machines in this area of town for the Rotex Max Challenge Asia Trophy, led currently by Luke Joshua Armstrong, Stratus RL in pole position, followed by Faris Fauzi, P2, Nick Irwan, P3, Jeremy Nyam, Mohammad Jasa Mohammad, Yang Roger, Chen Ping Hao, Ong Jiawei, and Yi Tang Eng. Yesterday, we have had some great racing in this class, one of the closest ever racing classes ever. And in this case, I'm looking forward for more action to come as Hui Ling goes down to the staging area where the carts are being prepared, the drivers are suiting up, ready to go for the next one. I am definitely very, very much looking forward to this class of racing.
Alright, so we are at the staging area getting ready for the pre-final DD2 Max Masters, and alongside me here I have our pole man, Luke Armstrong. So Luke, how has the weekend been so far?
Yeah, we the heat, so I guess that's about as good as we can get.
Hello? Hello? All right, sorry, a little audio issue there. So far this season, in this category, you've obviously had tougher battles with Faris, always putting the pressure on you almost every session. So it's Nick Irwan and the rest of the pack. So how have you been handling that throughout the race? As you mentioned, 17 laps, very long race.
No, I don't really think too much of this drive, so that's what we'll do today. But I think the top 6 or 7 are within 1/10 of a second, so it's not going to be an easy race.
All right, thank you so much. Good luck. And we also have Nick Irwan here. Already have his helmet on. So Nick, how has the weekend been for you so far?
A lot of getting used to again. I mean, I've stopped for quite a while and I haven't been really racing hard. So this weekend, the intensity is a lot higher. Just getting used to everything. Today is an important day, I think, for the team, for everyone, and maximum push today.
So obviously you have a lot of experience racing here at Sepang. Will that experience help you, although you have been away for a while?
I mean, Sepang is quite technical. I mean, every race is different, the condition. You know, sometimes the lines, things are different, and obviously the chassis development is different too now. We can coming back here.
All right, so thank you so much. We wish you all the best for our pre-final, and then we're gonna move alongside here to chat with the guys starting on the front row alongside Luke. So far, how has the weekend been for you so far here in Sepang?
So good. This is kind of a very tough grid. Everyone is quick. I can tell it's anyone's game. Even the third, fourth, fifth, sixth guy are all equal. So let's see. Hopefully, it's going to be a good day.
The battle here in the DD2 Max Master is always one of the closest category. And in the previous few rounds, we've also seen you always pushing 200% in the race, trying to put the pressure on the front. But how are you going to change any strategy as you go ahead towards the final, pre-final, to try to take advantage of, try to get a win, try to start in the front row for the final?
Well, I think every driver wants to win, so I got the front row. So for me, I just try my best. You know, I don't think about others. So stay out of trouble and just, you know, try to be as best as I can.
All right, thank you so much and good luck for the pre-finals. So we are going to head back to Calvin as I think we see all the drivers starting to get into their cart to prepare for the pre-finals of the DD2 Max Master.
All right. Thank you so much, Hui Ling. Thanks for bringing on the grid as we look at our pre-final starting grid. Leading the pack out will be Luke Joshua Armstrong in the 524, followed by the man on the screen just now, Faris Fauzi, RL Stratos, Nick Irwan, Nick Izani in third position, DRM Racing Team, followed by Jeremy Nyam in Stratos RL as well, Mohammad Jassa P5 and Young Roger in P6. Next up, this is one of the biggest DD2 Max Master grids that we've ever had. So Chen Ping Hao filling up at P7, Ong Jiawei 599 at P8 in the beautiful, beautiful cart, and Yi Tang Eng FSA Racing 532 P9 rounds up the grid. Looking forward to race start. We have 17 laps of fantastic racing as the racers prepare to fire up their engines and head out on track. So stay tuned with us here at the Rotax Max Challenge Asia Trophy from live from Sepang International Karting Circuit. This is me, Kelvin, and Hui Ling. We will be back shortly as we go for DD2 Max Master Pre-Finals. All right, and that is it. Engines are started and off we go out on track. We now have the green cart of Luke Joshua in the lead, out on formation lap, and Faris Fauzi in the red cart next to him, followed by the Paralyn cart, white-red of Nick Irwan and Jeremy Nyam in fourth position.
Yeah.
Our racers are definitely very experienced, definitely high calibered, and I expect a clean getaway and exciting race. What do you think, Hui Ling?
Yeah, I think as all our top three mentioned earlier on, it will be a very tight race and 17 laps. That will be quite a long race for them to hang in there, but let's see how the battle goes because Luke has been one of the most consistent drivers in this category, so we're going to see how he, as a race lead, sets the pace here with Faris Fauzi, Nick Irwan, Mohammad Jassa, Jeremy Yam all starting in the front.
Yep. So the difference between this and the previous classes is that they have a gearbox. 2-speed direct drive with first gear geared quite short, but still long enough for acceleration. Formation is looking great indeed. These are top caliber experienced racers, and they are streamlining onto the main straight, preparing to accelerate as these powerful racing machines go down, and it is green. But immediately we have had a yellow flag.
So I think it was probably one of the drivers in the back because the front looks
Clean.
good. Looks good to go. So, but we are gonna go for attempt number 2 here for the pre-final, the DD2 Max Masters. As we mentioned earlier on, a lot of very experienced drivers. We also have drivers from Chinese Taipei. So we have Young Roger and Cheng Ping Hao. So 2 drivers from Chinese Taipei on the grid.
All right, we prepare for our second start as our racers once again line up at the final turn, turn 11, crawling in formation, nice and beautiful. Everyone chilled, relaxed, but eager to go.
All right, so let's see if we will get a clean start this time around as they come across the start straight. And it is green, so it's Luke Armstrong in the lead there. Faris Fauzi behind him, followed by Nick Irwin.
Yes, immediate attack from Fauzi, perhaps just to secure his P2 position, because always at the start, sometimes easiest way to keep your position is to be on the attack. But look at Jeremy Nyam. Jeremy Nyam into the S-band, onto turn 5 and 6, now into 7.
And already a gap between our top 2 and Nick Irwin third. So a little, I think there's a touch there between the drivers in the mid-pack, but it is Luke Armstrong running away in the opening lap, followed closely by Faris Fauzi.
Yep, so the front 2 has opened up a bit of a gap between Luke and also Faris Fauzi behind Nick Irwin and Jeremy Nyam. The order is the same as of just now. This is the Premier Class DD2 Max Master. And at the moment, everyone is holding position strongly. But like what Huilik said, I believe there was a bit of a touch just now.
Yep, so here we have still Luke in the lead, followed by Faris Fauzi, Nick Irwin. Let's see, with 16 laps, can he catch up? Can he pick up the pace and rejoin the battle for the racing? Because he's already falling behind slightly and being under pressure from Jeremy in 4th.
Yep, that's right, indeed. A little bit of a gap opening up at the back of the pack. But we're looking at a close racing indeed between the 555 of Faris Fauzi and Luke Joshua Armstrong. He slipstreams into turn 1, turn 2, takes the inside line, goes on the attack, getting ready, positioning himself ready for turn 3, but compromising his line ever so slightly just to make sure that Luke is aware, hey, you're not alone in the race, I am still here with you.
Yep, so Faris has been doing similar thing that he's done in the previous round, always putting the pressure on Luke Armstrong. But we haven't seen any significant move there from the driver in second. Luke setting the pace here in the pre-final. Nick Irwin, I think, slowly but surely closing in on the top 2.
I was about to say that. I mean, the fight for P1 has definitely opened up the racing for positions 2 and 3. And Nick Irwin just now dropped behind, opening up a bigger gap, but now is almost as close to Faris Fauzi as Faris Fauzi is close to Luke Armstrong in front.
Yeah, and I think in the back we can also see a battle between young Roger and Muhammad Jasa.
Yeah, indeed. But just looking once again, focusing on our top 4 again, Faris Fauzi closing up the gap in the middle of the track. Perhaps he's just faster in the middle sector than Luke Armstrong up ahead. But coming into turn 1 and turn 2, Luke just opens up that enough gap just to make sure that he covers off the line. But pay attention to position number 3, Nick Irwin, as he really closes up to the leading pack. He is there to be seen, he's there to play, and he's there to fight.
Yep, Luke still setting the pace, just looking over his shoulder. He has been in this position many times before. So Luke, although he's coming under pressure from both Faris Fauzi and Nick Irwin, he's so far handling it very well. Just keeping them at bay now. Faris Fauzi sandwiched between both Luke Armstrong and Nick Irwin. Will we see an attack from Nick, because he has been picking up his pace and now right on the rear wheel of Faris Fauzi.
Yeah, that's what I call sandwich between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, and I think in P4 we can also see Jeremy not too far behind. He can see, he has the top 3 right in his sights. So
hopefully he's just conserving his tires a little bit. This is, after all, a very, very, very long race with 17 laps of racing. And therefore, hoping that this is the only this is only the beginning of the battle as we go into the early phases of the race, hoping that Jeremy Nyam is just conserving his tires, preparing for the battle in the laps to come.
And here we can see, I think we have young Roger with Jasa now. I think Jasa is now coming under pressure. Let's see.
Jasa is coming pressure from Chen Ping Hao.
Yep, so this is a battle now between kart 554 and 567.
Yes, indeed, this is our mid-pack battle, but a close battle indeed as 567 of Chen Ping Hao is coming to the back of 554 Mohammad Jasa and is going down into turn 1 in an attacking position as Jasa defends into turn 1. This does give young Roger ahead a little bit more space, breathing space, and a chance to scamper away to try to catch the front pack.
Yep, so a couple of battles happening on track. Young Roger there we can see in P5, Jasa in 6, and Chen Ping Hao trying to make a move for 6th position.
That's right, so 11 more laps to go. We have had 6 wonderful laps of racing, and this indeed is why this is called our DD2 Max Master, the premier class, where all the drivers are very, 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 very quality drivers and equal in caliber. Very experienced racers. Oh, here we go. Looking at an attack, going down into turn 1. Taking the wider line is indeed Chen Ping Hao on the attack on Mohammad Jasa, but Mohammad Jasa holds off the dive into turn 1 nicely, and indeed respectful racing between both of them. There was no contact whatsoever.
Yep, so the battle is still on for 6th position between Jasa and Chen Ping Hao. In the front, our race leader is still Luke Armstrong. So he's now 0.2 seconds ahead of Faris Fauzi. Nick Irwan half a second behind Luke. So still less than a second separating our top 3.
Yes, that's right. But indeed, the fastest lap that we have right now is none other than Faris Fauzi in position 2, clocking in a lap time of 50.47. Just a little bit, ever so slightly faster than Luke Joshua in P1. Looking beautiful, beautiful attack. Looking at this fantastic racing as well. Nick Irwan has just taken the fastest lap at 50.46.
Yep, and I would say so far, kudos to Luke Armstrong for managing the pace in the front. He has not allowed Faris or Nick to come close enough to make an attack. So he hasn't picked up his pace as much, but he's sort of in that maintaining zone, just keeping them at bay now with 9 laps to go.
That's right. All right. Down the straights, all the racers do one thing in this race. They look behind them to see where's the driver behind them, except actually Jeremy Nyam at 4th position. He knows he has a gap of about 2.7 seconds to Roger Young behind him. So he's the only one not looking backwards but looking forwards. Beside him, Luke, Faris and Irwan all just looking behind them to make sure that they cover off their lines, to make sure they don't have a sudden dive into turn 1.
Yep, so Jeremy having quite a quiet race there in P4, but our eyes are on the battle for P1, so we can see the top 3 drivers. We can look at the gap. There you have Roger Young just coming through with Jasa and Chen Ping Hao behind him. And here is our top 3 coming across the line to complete another lap. We have Luke, Faris and Nick Irwan. And then Jeremy Young right behind them. This is Roger Young, followed by Jasa and Chen Ping Hao.
Yep, that's right. 5:24 Luke Joshua, 5:55 Faris Fauzi, 5:01 Nick Irwan. These are your leaders, and Jeremy Nyam in 4th position, 5:13, 1.5 seconds behind the race leader, all of them. Still, after a good 10 laps, separated by no more than 2 seconds.
Calvin, since this is a long pre-final, do you think they're all sort of just conserving their tires? Because we haven't seen any changes in positions, except from the beginning, the battle between Nick and Jeremy. Other than that, everyone is pretty much just cruising through, lapping in the 50.5.
Well, if you ask me, in my own experience, I think, well, for a normal human being like myself, my neck will last probably 12 laps. So the neck will last 12 laps, and this is a 17-lap pre-final with a 17-lap final to come. So I'm not sure if the drivers are conserving tires or themselves. But yeah, some conserving will probably be in place.
Yeah, because so far they are close among Jizaja, but yeah, not close enough for anyone to make any move. But here we have the battle for P6 still going on. Jasa still on the defense now from Cheng Ping Hao. In the front, as we mentioned, no changes. It's still Luke Armstrong followed by Faris Fauzi and Nick Irwin. So this is the closest battle, Calvin, we have on track.
Oh, he goes on the inside. He dives on the outside actually into turn 1 into complex. We see, is there a position change? Almost I would say. Chen Ping Hao on the attack. Jasa covering off the inside line for turn 3. He should retain his position, but as we look again at the leaders, it is still Luke Joshua in front, followed by Faris Fauzi and Nick Irwan.
Yep. I feel, I have this sense like they're just keeping everything for the final race. So as Calvin, you mentioned, it'll be another 17 laps race that they'll have to endure. And when I spoke to them before the race, all of them mentioned how it's a very, very long race.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, without a doubt, it is a tough race to be in. Without a doubt, this is challenging conditions, but still, just look at the gap. After 13 laps, less than half a second, I mean, just about half a second covers the first 3 drivers.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Faris is just waiting for Luke to make a mistake, and Nick is probably waiting for Luke or Faris to make a mistake in the front.
Or maybe Luke is waiting for everyone to think he's going to make a mistake.
Yeah, so we have 4 laps to go in the pre-final for the DD2 Max Masters. We still have 8 drivers on track. Well, I think Ong Jiawei has already retired from the pre-final, so hopefully we'll see him back in the final race. But yes, 8 drivers left as the leaders come around to complete lap 14.
Lap 14 later, and still they are less than 0.6 seconds separating the top 3 drivers. But I see Nick Irwan starting to make a move on Faris Fauzi. Perhaps he's done conserving stuff. Maybe he has decided that, hey, you know what? I'm going to go for it. But just keep your eyes peeled because this is not over. Everyone is still pushing all they can to get to the top.
Yep, still half a second separating the top 3. They have been this way throughout almost in the last 10 laps, I would say. So Jeremy Yam also comfortably in P4. Young Roger in 5th. Jasa still hanging on to P6, Chen Ping Hao in 7th, and Yi Tang Eng in 8th.
That's right. 1 more lap completed, 2 more to go as they enter turn 3. This is where the DD2s will accelerate way faster than any kart that you've seen today, thanks to their 2-speed gearbox. But also a very challenging machine to drive, as these are significantly heavier than the junior chassis. So these are much more sturdier and heavier chassis that accelerate faster but turn slightly, ever so slightly slower compared to the junior karts.
Yep, so as we can see, the lap times coming from our top 3, all very consistent. They have been lapping in the mid-50s, almost throughout the entire race. Look, not pulling away, just keeping everyone in right behind him. He's always looking over his shoulder as he completes another lap. We're on to the final lap now.
That's right, final lap between at the DD2 Max Master pre-finals, the close battle between the top 3 drivers. As at the back, Muhammad Jasa still defending from Chen Ping Hao. But we see
Nick Irwan has finally make a move, going side by side there with Faris Fauzi.
There's a climb, there's climb, and Faris Fauzi is out of the kart.
Okay, look like Nick Irwan has rejoined on track, but Faris Fauzi has definitely gone off. We hope that the driver is okay.
Yes, indeed. This is the last lap as Luke Joshua comes around to finish the race in P1 winning the pre-finals for the DT2 Max Master. We
So
have
that
also
was a very aggressive move there between Nick and Faris. We do hope that Faris is okay.
yes, indeed. Hopefully that Faris is okay, but we see the tracker flag being waved.
Yep.
This is over.
And
the
that
race is over.
incident has allowed Jeremy to come across the line to take second, Young Roger in third, Jasa in fourth, Nick Irwan in fifth, and Cheng Ping Hao in sixth. So Luke Armstrong takes the victory here in the pre-final. The checker flag is out. We are about to take a quick lunch break. And we will be back for the start of the final race for the Micromax and Minimax at 12:35 p.m.
That's right. So see you shortly. We will be back. This is the DT2 Max Master pre-final. See you shortly for the Micro and Minimax finals. See you soon.
Commentator mic is on. Commentator mic is to Sarah Smith.
All right, so this is our provisional results for the pre-final of the DD2 Max Masters. As you can see, Luke Armstrong to victory, followed by Jeremy Yam, Young Roger, Mohammad Jasa in fourth, Nick Irwan manages to finish in fifth, Chen Ping Hao in sixth, Yi Tang Eng in seventh. So Faris Fauzi, after the final lap incident, did not make it across the finish line, and Ong Jia Wei retired from the pre-final as well. So we are taking a short lunch break, about 30 minutes, and we will be back for the start of all the final races. So we have 4 final races coming up later this afternoon. We'll feature the Micro Max, Mini Max, Junior Max, Senior Max, and also DD2 Max Masters. So this is round 3 of the Rotex Max Challenge Asia Trophy, live from Sepang International Go-Kart Circuit. So stay tuned for our battle in the afternoon for the final races.